Okay, good morning, class. We last time started with religious beliefs and devotional paths. To continue further, we'll just move on to the chapter. We finished the Nayanars and the Alvars. We talked about the worshippers of Lord Shiva and Vishnu. Then we talked about the philosophy of bhakti, how they believe that there's one God, Advaitism. We talked of that rituals should be banned, should be minimized. Then we talked of some of the Bhakti saints like Ramananda, Kabir, Nanak, etc., Tulsidas, and Surdas. Then we talked of Basana's Via Shaivism. Now, now we come on to the saints of Maharashtra. Okay, all eyes on this heading, saints of Maharashtra. During the 13th to the 17th century, Maharashtra saw a large number of saint poets whose compositions in Marathi continued to inspire people. These poets were Jananeshwar, Eknath, Namdev, Tukaram. Now here they're talking that we talked of Nayanars and Alvars, where we talked of the saints of the northern India. Now we are telling you that there were saints which were responsible for the spread of Hinduism in the southern part of India. So, specifically in Maharashtra, there were some very renowned saints, and the names have been given here. Please take them. Then they're telling you about their thinking and their working. These saint poets rejected all forms of ritualism, outward display of piety, and social differences based on birth. So now these saints of Maharashtra basically worked on these 3 points. Firstly, they rejected all forms of ritualism. Ritualism means the outward show and display of any ritual, any sacrifice, any performance, any religious ceremony. It should not be for show off. Then they also were against the outward display of आप कितने अच्छे हो अपनी अच्छाई अपनी सिंसियरिटी का आउटवर्ड डिस्प्ले किसी मैं इतना दान करता हूँ मैं इतना अ, लोगों की मदद करता हूँ this should not be shown if you wish to do you should do it then the third was the social differences based on caste and birth so they were against okay the ones born to a higher class or a rich family should be given importance. All this they were against. Please switch off the mic if possible. My voice is getting echoed. In fact, they even rejected the idea of renunciation and preferred to live with their families, earning their livelihood like any other person, while humbly serving fellow human beings in need. Now, they said that these saints were also against of giving up of their personal life. They said, "Ki, okay, just to think about God, it's not necessary that one should leave the family. Within the family limits, within living in a family, you can still work on, you can still earn your livelihood. Livelihood is that you should earn for your living and still can think of God and work on the needs of humanity. A new humanist idea emerged as they insisted that the bhakti lay in sharing others' pain. So now they gave a new meaning to this bhakti. They said that once you are sharing and helping your other fellow being, you are doing God's work only. Then they talked of the women poets. Please come to this side of the paragraph. This is important as it talks of women poets like Sukubai and Chokhamela. Please underline these two names, Sukubai and Chokhamela, family who belonged to the untouchable Mahar caste. Now, these were the untouchable lower caste people, females, who were given an opportunity to come out and proclaim about their work. Now, earlier it was only the men who were given all these things, all these responsibilities. Now, in this time, we see that even women thinkers came out and they were given, the position to at least say what they have to. Now, these same poets preached that bhakti was in sharing other people's. Their important rule was that these bhakti saints, they believed that sharing other people's pain was the biggest form of bhakti. आपको इसके लिए ईश्वर की उपासना करना कोई अल्टीमेट काम नहीं. If you are only sitting in front of a temple or a mosque or a church and you're not helping a needy, then what's the use of being calling yourself a saint? Then they said bhakti could be done while remaining in the family and by helping fellow human beings in need. So again, they laid emphasis on in a family, like they said, there was no point of leaving the worldly pleasure and moving away. Those who have given you birth, you are moving away from them. So it is not required. You can remain in a family, work in a family, and yet you can have a humanitarian approach towards other human beings in need. Then they talk of a hymn by Tukanao. He who identifies with the low and the downtrodden mark him as a sadhu, for God is with him. So now there was a hymn or a bhajan by Tukaram which said ki you don't have to be the one to be identified with the low or downtrodden. Okay, you have to just feel their pain. The people who are of low caste, who are downtrodden, who are poor, if you identify the pain, if you feel the pain of these people, then you become a sadhu. Who's a sadhu? The one who is closer to God, one who has given up his life to the purpose of God. So he's saying by serving the humanity, you turn as a sadhu. It's not necessary that you sit in front of a temple and do bhajan, and when it comes to helping others, you reject. So that is not a true purpose of a saint. Then his teachings. Now the teachings of Tukaram, the teachings of Bhakti saints. The Bhakti saints preached that selfless love and devotion were the only means to come closer to God. The selfless, that means there should be no selfish motive behind any devotion or love. Once you are selfless, then you come automatically closer to the working of God. Then all human beings were equal. Now, according to him, nobody is born of high birth or low birth. Now, all the Bhakti saints believe that all human beings are equal. God did not create high or low caste, nor did he create Hindus and Muslims. The Bhakti saints laid emphasis importance on knowledge as an essential part of bhakti. Underline the word knowledge. Now they believed that one who has attained knowledge can only be a person who is considerate and humble towards other human beings. A jungly brand cannot go thinking of anything good. Now, is this mic opened for purpose to disturb me? So they are saying that the Bhakti saints laid emphasis on knowledge. That means one should sit for it. One should attain knowledge because knowledge leads to wisdom. An illiterate person can be made to think whatever a learned person thinks. Supposing there's an illiterate person and I go and start teaching him about God and other things. So it is my knowledge which is being enforced on him. So the saints of these times laid emphasis that one should have knowledge. Why? Because knowledge leads to wisdom. Now moving further, we come to the next study. Who had experienced divine knowledge. Now again, these Bhakti saints laid emphasis on Guru. That means a teacher. To become a saint, to become a thoughtful human being, you need to have knowledge, and that knowledge could be imparted by a guru. Anyway, even that is why being considered important. Why? Because the path of knowledge is shown for step towards getting process is shown to a guru or a teacher. A bhakti could also express, a bhakti could also express his bhakti through devotional music. Now, during those bhakti, the devotional hymns or songs, so they laid emphasis on music also. Now, Chaitanya, we are talking of another. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a saint, from Greece, and he was a devotee, or he worshipped Lord Krishna. Okay. Now, earlier we were talking of the saints of Maharashtra, then we talked of Chaitanya, then we talked of Tukaram, and now we're talking of, we talk of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now, and he was of Bengal. He was a devotee of Lord Krishna. He emphasized that devotional music was the most important meaning of expressing bhakti. Now, according to him, the devotional songs, the bhajans that we call in Hindi, were the best ways of expressing bhakti towards any god. Chaitanya composed hymns in praise of, he sang devotional songs and danced. He popularized musical gathering for Kirtan. Underline the word Kirtan. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sang and he spread the word of God through his hymns, and he even danced, and he performed these musical gatherings or Kirtan Sabhas where people gathered and hymns praising God. Then we come on to Meera. Meerabai was a Rajput princess. She was also a devotee and poem expressing her love for Lord, for the Lord. She popularized her bhakti through her bhajan. So we all know about Meerabai. She was also a Rajput princess and a devotee of Lord Krishna. She also composed various bhajans, and it's a few bhajans that she gathered popularity. Okay, then there is the Bhagavad by her,
Ma'am,
which
ma'am, your
she
voice is not coming.
did not
Yes, ma'am.
zeroing less among the Nathpanthis, siddhas, and yogis. Now, a number of religious groups that emerged during religious life, the ritual, and the social using they were now there were apart from these there were the other brands which were known as Nathpanthis. Now these religious heads also rituals should not pomp and show to a godly to the ground people then yes, logical art. Can you hear me? I need your response. Can you hear me?
Ma'am, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me, children?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
At least somebody tell me something.
Ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am,
They advocate
ma'am, your voice is totally not coming.
Ma'am, your voice is not coming. Yes, ma'am.